He wakes up in the school restroom to find his classmate panicking. "I'm not a pervert, I wasn't spying. You were standing frozen, so I came to check." But Sean does not believe him. He grabs the guy and demands to know what a school kid is doing in a criminal hideout. Everyone around them starts whispering, thinking Sean has lost his mind. He ignores them and asks for the current date and time. The answer shocks him. He is 10 years in the past. Sean is no ordinary student. In his past life, he was an elite special forces soldier who hunted down the worst criminals. But during a mission against a corrupt, powerful billionaire, everything went wrong. His partner betrayed him and shot him for money. Now he is back in high school. He cannot believe it until he sees his own reflection in the mirror. He slaps himself hard to see if he's dreaming. Realizing his wish came true, he smirks like a devil. He vows to kill the criminals he failed to stop before. Girls walk past at one with purple hair until his nose bleeds. The girls hurry off, calling him a freak for hitting himself and talking nonsense. Shan clenches his fists, remembering this exact day. The girl is destined to be killed, and he swears to save her first. He goes to the crime scene. Girls are gossiping about a creep. He knows the truth. He clears his throat and knocks to get their attention. He brings a water jug and uses the same lie about the water being out. He fills the can, but he's feeling restless. He keeps looking at the bathroom where the girl is showering. He checks the time. Right then, a scream rings out. Someone yells, "Pervert!" Sean sees a man bolt for the door. Memories flood back. This moment ruined his life. April 12, 2015, a creep snuck into the girl's bath. The others ran away, leaving her. Sean just froze. He could have stopped it, but he was a coward. He hid his face while the man forced his way in. His fear cost her everything. She vanished after that. Rumors said she transferred, but she vanished. People moved on, but Sean couldn't forget. The memory haunted him like a demon. While others graduated, he quit to join the army, desperate to never feel that weak again. In that life, he joined special forces, constantly getting in trouble for breaking rules. No matter what they did, they couldn't crush his burning rage. He couldn't stand how evil people ruined lives and stayed free. He soon became known as the lone wolf, hunting down evil. Now Sean stares down the creep, ready to finally get his revenge. He would usually go straight to Master Chen Sha to stop this at the source. But first, he wants to fix his past mistakes before everything changed. He fights fire with fire, grabbing the water can and smashing it into the creep. The man slams into the wall, threatening to kill whoever hit him. Sean doesn't stop, leaping over the girls and stomping on his head. The guy is tougher than Sean thought, and that blow doesn't take him down. He scrambles away, making Sean realize he needs more training. The man lunges with a knife, but Sean easily dodges him. He grabs the man's wrist, kicks the knife away, and slams him into the ground. Sean keeps punching him. Even after years, seeing his face hurts and he won't stop, the girl begs him to quit, fearing he might kill the man. She thanks him for the help but hides her face, feeling shy. Soon police arrive, cuff the man, and drag him away while he makes excuses. The officer asks where Sean learned to fight. Sean just claims he learned it from movies. The cop doubts him and tries to Provone stares him down, reminding him that hurting civilians is illegal. The cop freezes, sensing real danger. Suddenly, the purple-haired girl steps up to defend him and winks. The officer grumbles that it doesn't excuse beating someone up. Later, Sean gets home and calls out that he is back. His mom immediately scolds him for being late to dinner. She complains that he is becoming a troublemaker because his dad spoils him. Hearing this, he hugs her tightly from behind. Shocked and worried, she asks if someone bullied him. They sit down to eat, and she asks if he is sick because he is acting so strange. He tells her he is fine and promises to listen to her from now on. Happy now, she tells him to focus on school and get a job. Sean eats happily, realizing how much he missed her nagging. In his room, he admits he missed these quiet nights, realizing how hard it is to keep things peaceful. Yet bad people can ruin it instantly. He pumps his fist, promising that in this new life, he will change the world and live with no regrets. The next morning, a teacher praises his work from yesterday. Girls stare at him, whispering about how hot he looked fighting. A teacher stops him, saying the principal wants to reward him. Shan feels gloomy, hating all this sudden attention. He hopes for a quiet class, but the room is total chaos. A guy runs over, shouting that Sean fights like a pro. Shan offers to teach him moves, making the guy thrilled. A blonde guy snaps his pen, anger, whispering to stop showing off. He slams his hand on the desk, but Sean stays calm. Shan coolly asks if the class rep has a problem. The fanboy gets angry, but the bodyguard tells him to watch his mouth. He stands tall and says he'll rewrite if the rep apologizes first. The brat refuses, so he steps up and tells him to fix his attitude. The bodyguard gets furious and tries to hit him with his big fists. He dodges to the side, proving he's way too fast for the guy. Just then, a girl walks in and sees the giant charging at her. Seeing the punch coming, Sean pulls her away to safety just in time. He asks if she's okay, and she says he only grazed her nose. Infuriated, he jumps on the guard, saying he doesn't deserve his hand. He snaps it in half, leaving the guy screaming in pain. Furious, the class rep grabs a table by its leg. But before he can move, our hero jumps him and grabs his neck. He chokes the fool and throws a well-deserved punch. Before he can land it, a teacher stops Sean and asks if fighting is his new hobby. The girl tells the disciplinary director that Sean was just trying to protect her. But the class rep grins as the director takes Sean to his office. The man asks Sean if he's crazy for fighting the Yang family's young master. When Sean asks why, the man sighs and says Tianle's father is too powerful to cross. He gets that kids get fired up, but tells Sean to apologize and behave next time. Sean hates the idea of sucking up to corrupt trash and just moving on. But when he leaves the director's office, everyone is outside cheering for him for teaching that jerk a lesson. The girl from earlier hands him a water bottle, smiling softly at her new crush. Seeing this, the class rep and his bodyguard freak out because he's getting popular again. Gorilla Man angrily offers to bring friends to beat him up after school. The class rep tells him to calm down, calling violence a dumb move. He claims money runs the world, and those with real power make the rules. Then he calls his uncle for legal advice on how to get someone thrown into juvenile detention. In class, Sean's new friend practices high kicks. Sean tells him not to overextend or he might get hurt. Just then, the purple-haired girl walks in, asks if Shan is in this class. Every guy stares at how beautiful she is, wondering how he got her attention. His friend nudges him to go talk to her, but Sean just sits there frozen. Outside, Lynn asks straight away if he's free tonight. She gives him her father's card, saying he wants to thank him. Sean recognizes the name her father. Vanished years ago, he takes the card and says he was just doing his duty. He walks off, telling her it's not a big deal. In class, his friend asks questions, and Sean jokes about a marriage proposal. A student interrupts, saying the principal wants to see him. The class rep grins and tells him to go now. The principal yells, saying if the boy dies, he'll be blamed. Looking at the medical report, Sean says the ink is still wet. The principal slams his desk and asks if he's calling him a liar. Sean looks at the papers and remembers he never touched the guy's head. The class rep clearly set him up. The principal tells him to defend himself, but the reports look like solid proof against him. Sean puts his hands on the desk and tells the principal to come to the hospital to see the patient in person. Sean leans in and warns him to stay out of this, adding that Tioni isn't untouchable. The principal stammers in shock, wondering how the kid figured it out. Suddenly, two cops burst in to arrest Sean for assault, led out in handcuffs while the class rep stands there smiling smugly. The blonde mocks Sean, asking if he really thought he could beat him. He waves a fake goodbye, but Sean coldly replies that this fight is far from over. In the interrogation room, the cop slams down papers and yells that Han Chong has 3 cracked ribs. He points at the medical notes and demands a confession. When Sean refuses, the cop tries to blame him for attacking a classmate. Sean stays calm and tells him to check Chong's phone records. The cop snaps that he is under investigation, but Sean replies he won't speak without a lawyer. Looking at the cameras, Sean points out that none of them work, and that the officers came in without a warrant. He keeps mocking them for ignoring protocols and calls their interrogation methods amateur. As Sean talks, a nervous cop whispers to his partner, wondering how the kid knows so much. Sean cuts in, telling them to stop stalling and bring in their boss. Right on cue, the chief walks in and the other officers stand up to greet him. Smiling creepily, the man tells Sean that rules are flexible and easily bent. He explains that Sean's mistake was crossing someone powerful, then shoves the confession over, telling him to sign it now. Acting friendly, he even promises to cut 3 years off his sentence. Suddenly, Sean bursts out laughing and calls him a total sellout. He adds that he isn't the chief, just a desperate deputy, wiping the smile off the man's face. Sean warns him that he's going to crash hard soon. The deputy snaps, insulting Sean before grabbing his collar and threatening to handle him personally. Suddenly, an officer yells out that headquarters is calling. Deputy turns pale while Sean leans back and smirks. He jokes with the deputy that the call sounds pretty important. Watching him sweat, Sean asks if he's going to answer it or not. When he answers, a voice on the other end orders him to release the boy right away. The deputy argues for proper rules, but an angry soldier suddenly walks in. It's Officer Chang, who openly says he hates stupid rules and protocols. The deputy complains about the rules, so the fed-up soldier points a gun at his head to show him a new rule. The deputy gives up. Chang says arresting someone close to Colonel Lin is crazy, while the deputy makes weak excuses. The boy thinks his backup is a bit late. He remembers giving his friend a letter for the colonel just in case. He knows he'd be in jail by now without his backup plan and feels glad it worked. Meanwhile, Sean hands over the release papers and tells the deputy to fill them out fast. As the deputy fills out forms, he realizes the Yangs picked the wrong fight. The Lins are loaded. A boy close to them is probably dangerous too. In the van, the driver teases Chung Jan for pulling a gun on a civilian. The hothead argues the gun was empty and says it's not a violation if nobody reports it. He then thanks Sean for saving the colonel's daughter. Sean says they're even now. The officer, wanting to test the skill Lin Shi praised, suddenly strikes at Sean's face. Shan dodges and counters, but the officer avoids that too. Sean finally impresses him with a knee strike and pins him down. The driver warns of a patrol ahead, so the two fighters quickly break it off. Chung Zan takes him to his senior's office and asks for a painkiller, complaining the kid roughed him up. Meanwhile, our boy finally meets Lin's father, who is glad to see the hero who saved his daughter. He offers tea and says Sean's huge because he saved his daughter's life. Sean says anyone would help, but the man says no one else would face a knife like that. Lin's dad shows a secret. The Yangs are out of line. He says Tiani won't be a problem anymore. Sean realizes this is when father got arrested and dirty cash was found in his old house. Sean gets an idea. He asks the colonel how Yang would feel if his house was robbed. At 3:00 a.m., the alarm goes off. Sean wakes up and starts getting dressed. Dressed in all black, he sneaks past his mom, who is asleep on the couch. She talks gibberish in her sleep, which gives Sean the creeps. Half asleep, she tells him to stay safe at school. He jokes that he'll be back soon. At the Yang villa, Sean sees security cameras everywhere. Hugging the wall, he thought it made sense for a crook like Yang to be this paranoid. Finding a blind spot, he checked his watch, then climbed the wall and dropped into the grass. He remembered from his past life that the news said the dirty money was in a statue. He wondered how big a statue had to be to hide all that cash. He looked at the fountain, and it suddenly clicked. Walking over, he wondered why it was running so late. Sean froze, spotting something underwater. Meanwhile, a tired guard walked his rounds, grumbling that only a fool would break in here. Suddenly feeling uneasy, he shouted for the intruder to come out. Aiming his light, he sighed with relief when he saw it was just a cat. The guard shrugged and walked off. As he turned, Sean rose from the fountain with a bag, startling the cat. Now he knows why the cops never found it in his past life. It feels like fate is helping him tonight. He kneels to check the goods and realizes his bags won't hold all this cash. He looks to the side and spots a handy trolley to move the money. Pushing it forward, he dreams of the possibilities and decides investing is his best bet. Suddenly, a car stops. A drunk Etienne gets out, calling Shan trash for messing. With him, he tries to kick a trash can but stops when he sees it's actually a trolley. His blurry eyes stare at the trolley full of money, wondering if he drank too much. Meanwhile, Sean sneaks up and chops him in the neck. Smirking, Sean calls him trash for driving drunk without a license. Kicking a pile of real garbage, Sean notes Mom was right. Neither father nor son is worth a dime. Sean pulls out a knife, but instead of killing Tianli, he decides to give him a gift. Lifting his head, Sean plays barber and gives the class rep a fresh fade. Finished, Sean stands up and mutters that it was harder work than he expected. He wheels the cart away, joking that the class rep will love his masterpiece. The next morning, his mom bangs on his door, telling him to wake up. She says she's going to the temple, which grabs his attention. She notes her knife had hair on it and water was everywhere. Sean stays quiet, but she catches on and scolds him for being up all night. He sighs, knowing he can't fool his mom. Next morning, the family guard walks outside and finds a drunk guy in his way. Thinking it bad luck, he kicks the guy and yells at him to move, saying it's not his home. The noise wakes Tianli, who yells at the guard, leaving the man in shock. Tianli tells the guard to be quiet because his head hurts. He touches his hair, wonders what happened, and sees his cut hair on the ground. The spoiled brat gets furious and screams that he will get his revenge. He runs straight to his father's office building. He shouts outside for his dad to punish the person who bullied him. His face turns pale and he gets confused. He sees police leading his dad out in handcuffs. The brat grabs his father and yells at the officers to let him go or else. An officer confirms the boy is Vice Chief Yang's son and tells him his father was caught in a major corruption bust. The brat goes speechless when the officer tells him to stay quiet and cooperate. Then Tianle's father tells his son to take care of himself because he can no longer protect him. That breaks the boy, who bursts into tears and spends the whole night crying like a baby. The next day at school, Sean's friend wakes him up with breaking news. The class rep's dad was arrested for corruption. Seeing Sean's calm reaction, his friend asks why he isn't surprised. Sean replies, "It's no surprise when someone who abuses power finally gets caught." He then tells his friend to leave him alone so he can get some sleep. His friend wonders what kept him up all night and why he smells like a fish pond. Sean says he was fishing in the river all night, so his friend warns him not to get arrested for illegal fishing. Later, Sean remembers that before the time rewind, Vice Chief Yang's arrest caused political chaos in the city. He realizes he made it happen sooner in this timeline, and hopes the butterfly effect won't change things too much. As he wonders how to spend the 6 million, mind shifts back to getting revenge on young Master Chen. But since that amount can't stop a billionaire, he thinks about buying a building to rent out apartments. That thought depresses him, because a boring landlord is the only idea his poor background can come up with. On his way home, he sees a gang of thugs beating someone up in the alley he uses as a shortcut. He waits for the fight to end, but overhears the thugs and realizes the victim is actually a police officer. He feels let down by the city's police if even top officers get beaten up by random street thugs. Just then, a thug pulls out a metal pipe and hits the man on the back of his head. The dumb gang watches the man hit the ground hard and wonders if he is already dead. One thug decides to hit him again to make sure. Before he can finish the cop off, our guy rushes in and kicks him hard. Seeing this, the other thugs rush to their boss to check if he is still breathing. The man wakes up and panics seeing his savior. Sean smiles smugly and asks if his office was too boring, so he's hiding on the streets now. The officer quickly says he's undercover, just seeing what people think of the police. He pulls the man up, telling him to stay sharp since he's bad at spotting danger. The man says he'd be a great officer and offers him a job as his bodyguard. Sean stops him, saying he's here for business. Director Deng suggests they talk in his car parked nearby. In the car, the director puts cloth on his head, complaining about sensitive kids. Sean asks if that's an insult. Director quickly apologizes for his big mouth. Sean ignores it and says to boost security in the old district, which is full of gangs. The director agrees but worries about Officer Lin. Sean says Lin just wants order. He tells the director to do something real if he wants a promotion. The simple advice doesn't seem to sink in, so Sean moves on and mentions his own personal goal. He has a great plan to make good money, but he needs a trusted partner to handle the cash. He reveals inside info that the entire old district will soon be torn down. Hearing that, Director 8 panics at the thought of sending his team into the mess. He rants about the money and connections needed for this. Sean says he'll handle the money and build connections himself. He just needs an insider in the police to make it official. He offers the low-level officer a rare chance to earn enough money to retire comfortably. The deputy director hesitates, clearly frustrated at being played by a teenager. Still, he gives in. Forcing a smile, he tells the boy to call him uncle and ask for help anytime. On the way back, the slow director finally realizes the Lin family leaked the info to him. The next morning, the boys rush to class as usual. Everyone is studying when a homeless-looking guy walks in, his face covered, and he drops to his knees before the class. He begs Shan for forgiveness, apologizing for being a complete jerk. Crying messily, he begs Shan to help his dad. Since Shan knows the Lin family, he promises to do anything if his dad gets freed. He bows deeply, the cloth slips off, revealing a smooth, shiny, bald head. The whole class laughs out loud, wondering if their class president has gone crazy. Just like that, the former bully gets humiliated the same way he used to treat others. Sean feels a bit offended, wondering if his haircut advice was so bad that the guy shaved it all off. Meanwhile, Tanley regrets telling his stylist to fix his look at any cost. Soon, Sean gets tired of the crying. He tells the guy to stop kneeling and get up. Hearing this, the class rep thinks he is forgiven, but Sean clarifies he promised nothing. His dad broke the law, and everyone knew it was wrong. He should help the police instead of shaming himself. Teenley cries again. Then something snaps inside him. He storms off, shouting that he's lost everything and will make Sean suffer the same way. Later that night, Tianli gathers some guys outside Sean's house. Even his lackeys hesitate. They'll fight or break windows, but they won't commit arson. The guy tells them to shut up, claiming it will look like an accident anyway. This is his way of showing Sean what it's like to lose a home. As one prepares to throw a bomb, a voice asks if he can't sleep without his daddy. Tanley spins around, shocked to see his plan ruined, asks how Sean knew. Furious, he orders them to attack. They refuse, reminding him they got beaten up yesterday. The bully turns, fuming, and shouts about all the favors he's done for them. The first guy tells the second to go first, but the second complains about a bad headache. Fed up with these clowns, Sean steps in. Since they can't decide, he makes the choice for them. He jumps down and slaps the first guy so hard it leaves a clear handprint on his face. The guy drops instantly, his neck twisted to the side. The Molotov slips and breaks on the ground. Teenley clicks his tongue, annoyed at the waste. Down one man, he orders the next guard up. One cold look from Sean terrifies the guy. Hands over the remaining bottles and runs away. Seeing that, Tani panics, step closer, towering over him and asks who he thinks he's staring at. Sweat pours down the class president's face as he realizes he is completely screwed. Desperate, he threatens to burn everything down and gets ready to throw the bottles. But Sean moves like lightning, grabbing his arm before he can even twitch. The grip is tight. Tanley shakes, realizing he picked the wrong person. He laughs and says it was just a joke between friends. Sean smiles and asks his classmate for a small favor. Tiani cries and asks what the favor is. Sean punches him. "Shut up before you wake your mom," he says. The crybaby threatens to call the cops and actually does. The police arrest him for being annoying. Can't believe they don't see he's the victim. He yells at Director Dong for being ungrateful for his father's help. The director says his father did much, but never taught him how to act. He adds, if you play with fire, you will get burned. He thanks Sean for dealing with the trouble and offers to celebrate. She refuses, needing rest for important business tomorrow. The next morning, they go to the old district. The director steps in a pothole, splashing dirty water all over his shoes. Looking at the rundown buildings, he doubts they can make money here. But Sean knows this place once made over a dozen millionaires. To convince him, he shares another piece of inside info. A tech upgrade is coming. Once it happens, land prices and demolition costs here will shoot up. The director smiles with excitement, glad his partner knows what he's talking about. He doesn't know that Sean plans to use him and take most of the cash. After looking around, they stop by a bar in the area. Sean calmly pays the old bartender $150,000 to buy the place. The director is confused. Why sell such a well-made bar? It makes no sense. The owner sighs. My son has huge gambling debts. Loan sharks keep harassing us, so I must use the bar as collateral. This mess annoys Director Dong. When Sean hears the debt is due right before the demolition, he gets worried. He asks, "Where did your son borrow the money from?" The bartender replies instantly, "Around here, everyone borrows from Chen Jinhu, known as Lord Hu." Sean thinks Lord Hu's behavior is strange. It seems he wants the bar, not just the money. That suspicion made Sean rush to sell the place. He grins, asking the director to hold off on signing. Director Dong suggests having a drink first. Sean tells Deputy Deadweight they can't relax because Lord Hu has the same plan. In his castle, Lord Hu's woman asks, "Why stare at that dirty street on the screen when we could have fun?" "You wouldn't understand, but a king must watch his kingdom," he explains. She playfully asks, "Does that make me the queen?" The cold dictator suddenly laughs. Chen Jinhu has ruled Zhongning City for 20 years like a king of the night. He runs illegal businesses across half the city, so people call him Chen Half City. Our team arrives, and Director Dong warns Sean to be careful because Lord Hu is a psycho. He also says the man has ties to the Chen family. Hearing that name triggers memories from our hero's past life. He grins from ear to ear. He is not afraid, he is excited. It is time for revenge. Seeing this, the director asks if he has a history with them. Sean calmly calls Lord Hu their puppet. He confidently vows to take him down. He tells the director to finish the plans and leave the rest to him. It is time to finish the mission from his past life. Meanwhile, Lord Hu hears that someone else took the bar. Angry, he immediately slaps his helper across the face. He throws a tantrum, shocked that things got out of hand. The servants shake in fear, but his manager tells him to calm down. He hands over a photo, explaining that their opponents are Director Dong and a high school kid. Jinu is confused by the photo. How did Director Dong escape arrest when the Yang family fell? He asks who the student is. The manager replies they know nothing about him. He seems to be completely new. Lord Hu decides to target the student first instead of the director. He orders his men to finish an investigation in 3 days. Lord Hu warns his helper to watch the bar closely. If anything goes wrong, he will pay a painful price. The threat makes the man sweat in fear. Later that night, Sean and his best friend go to the bar. Baldy stops him, warning that entering Lord Hu's territory is a terrible idea. He snaps at him to stop acting scared and stick to the plan. He tells Ji to just play a mobile game to kill time. He promises to take all the risks himself. Jai still looks nervous, so he jokes they head home. That shuts him up. Sean says wait for his signal, then walks to the door. He raided this place before, so he knows the secret entrance and password. He knocks. A butler opens the door slightly and says they are closed. Sean says the password and the door opens. Man asks if it is his first time here. To make an entrance, he tosses a stack of cash into the air. The man's attitude changes. He smiles and asks what he wants. Sean tells him to show him everything. The man claps and staff come over. Inside, Sean sees a broke guy begging for chips. Sean notes gambling is not just luck, buys 100,000 in chips. Everyone wishes him luck, but he knows better. But no one admits it is really just a mental game. Sean sits at the table and watches, sees the fat man's face twitch and knows he has good cards. The quiet player stays stone-faced. Sean sees his long, pinky nail and realizes he is marking the cards. The dealer asks if anyone wants to raise the bet. The fat man raises 5,000. Sean pushes all his chips in and goes all in. His sudden bet makes the fat man nervous. Sean acts like a beginner, saying he heard you should bet big when your hand is strong. The others believe him and fold. Sean wins, but the players get angry when they realize he was bluffing. Sean takes his winnings and leaves. He knows he can only pull that trick once. Sean ignores a girl asking for a drink and heads to the dice table. He listens closely to the dealer. Judging by the sound, he guesses the numbers are 4, 5, and 6. When the dealer calls for bets, Sean goes all in again. When the results are shown, Sean wins again. The dealer grits his teeth, wondering if the kid has X-ray vision. Sean tells the dealer to hurry up so he can win more and go rest. The dealer continues, sweating as he worries about explaining this to his boss. Watching the cameras, Lord Who mutters that the boy should have quit. Sean wins millions quickly, and the crowd expects the dealer to be punished. A woman arrives with security and tells the shaking dealer to hand her the cup. Looking at her, Sean feels like he has seen her somewhere before. Sean is shocked when the floor manager reveals she is Noyama Chizuru. He recognizes her from the Golden Triangle just as she asks for his bet. Sean remembers his life before back on May 17th in Shibuya, he first met her on what felt like a quiet date. They were chatting over drinks when Chizuru noted how noisy the bar was. She asked Sean if he knew anywhere else this lively at such an hour. Suddenly, she told him not to blink, jumped on the table, and cupped his face. She said his eyes looked like a wolf's, piercing right through her. She told him to keep looking at her. Sean calmly pushed her hands away, calling her a cat instead and noting she was the dangerous one. Chizuru leaned in, promising she only wanted him happy and wasn't digging for secrets. She was drunk by then and kept talking to Sean all night. She even explained a trick about feeling the dice's breath. She said you have to read the opponent's muscles, like feeling their heartbeat. Back in the present, Sean remembers this and focuses on her muscles to predict the dice. He sees her hands are relaxed, but her neck is tense. He watches her clothes folds closely, obsessively studying her to guess her next move. After rolling the dice, Chizuru tells the boy to bet. Sean bets everything on 3 threes. Chizuru is stunned, thinking it's impossible and the boy is crazy. But Sean stares back seriously and tells her to open the cup. She lifts the cup, leaving the gamblers stunned. The manager sweats, seeing the payout top 50 million. The room erupts. Sean notes they met in chaos again. As his casino fails, Lord Who loses all control. A man bursts in saying he found the boy. The casino kid is the bar student. Lord Who snaps. Lord Who arms his men. Sean calls G, your turn. Lord Who arrives and charges, aiming for the boy. The lights die. They find Lord Who broken on the floor. Sean escapes through a secret path, his hands aching. He calls for his bald friend to leave, but the bunny girl blocks him. Do you want to die? She asks. Casino gangsters surround him. Be a good boy and hand over the money, one says. Cooperate and we won't mess up your face, Shan sighs. I planned for everything tonight except an annoying auntie, he mocks. You're just a rabbit serving a tiger. Shan gets into position facing the group. Come at me all at once, he provokes them cockily. Let's save some time. Annoyed, one man steps forward alone, holding metal rods in both hands. As the man attacks, Sean grabs his arm and punches him right in the face, sending him flying back. He crashes to the ground. The other gangsters hesitate, shocked by how easily their leader was beaten. Shan looks back. Are you still going to come at me one by one? The last two get nervous and decide to attack together. Hoping numbers will give them an edge, Shan smiles as they charge. He leaps up, hits one with his knee, and kicks the other, knocking both down before landing smoothly. But before he can chase the bunny girl, she quickly runs away. As she vanishes, Jai arrives and asks Sean if he handled everything. Jai explains that the casino had a backup generator, so he cut the power to the whole street instead. He asks if he did well and gets praised. Jai then suggests they quit school to become full-time criminals. While Jai keeps talking, the main character walks away without paying attention. Meanwhile, the bunny girl returns to the casino and asks the manager for backup. Instead of helping, the manager slaps her, scolds her, and accuses her of stealing. The girl insists she is loyal, but the manager blames her for helping the newcomer trick the casino. She begs for mercy over the false accusations, but it is clear she won't be spared. The next day in class, Sean quietly plans his next move. He knows he shouldn't be greedy and wonders if he should quit while he is ahead before Demolition News drives prices up. He plans to start a security firm with his money. While he's distracted, the teacher asks a question. He answers bananas, and the teacher says he'll fail his exams. Sean insists the lesson was about bananas. The teacher snaps, "Don't ruin our average. Go to remedial class." Sean points at Jai. "He's been sleeping, why just me?" Jai answers the question perfectly without even looking up. "If you get 4th place like Jai, you can sleep too," the teacher says. Sean is shocked his friend is a top student. That evening, he goes to remedial class and sighs about the attendance rules. He hears a familiar voice and sees Lin Shi, the colonel's daughter. He asks if she's in remedial too. She says, "I'm first in class, so I asked to be your tutor." She blushes and leans in. "Work hard and pay attention today, okay?" Grabbing his tie, she says, "I'm only here because of you." She pulls him close and whispers in his ear, "Be a good boy." His face turns red. She teases him, "You're usually so calm, but now you're blushing like a little boy." Sean tries to change the subject. "We're supposed to study, remember?" That brings her back to reality. Instead, she pulls harder. "Tell me how much force I'm using against your body weight," she says. Shocked, he says a beginner can't do physics and suggests math. Lin Shi lets go. "Let's start with functions then." As she writes an equation on the board, she keeps looking at him and starts blushing too. She finishes the equation and tells him, "Now, find the domain of this problem." But he doesn't even know what a domain is. He hasn't studied since his past life, years ago. Lin Shi walks over to him. "I'll explain it step by step," she says, but her closeness makes Sean nervous. "I won't pull your tie again," she promises, offering a hairpin so his long hair doesn't block his eyes. That scares him even more. He quickly tells her, "Let's just start the lesson." Inside, Sean is terrified. He's never felt this nervous, even in battle. She's on another level. The session ends. She tells him to review everything at home. She warns that if he skips reading again, he'll get special lessons. Walking out, she tries to chat, but he ignores her. Gathering courage, she asks if he hates. He says no, but she asks if he has more to say. She blurts out that she likes him. His brain freezes. She isn't embarrassed and says it again. She has a crush on him. That's why she's tried so hard to get his attention. She asks if he feels a connection too. Terrified, Sean apologizes. He says they're too different and he won't ruin her life. She runs after him, saying his grades don't matter, but he keeps walking. Elsewhere, a blonde man tells Jin-Hoo he really messed up. The guy begs for mercy, claiming the kid was too strong. Yu-Chin cuts him off, saying he only cares about results. Jin-Hoo bows lower, begging for one more chance. The young master looks up, drink in hand, and lets it slide. He drops the glass and it shatters, spilling wine everywhere. Yu-Chin steps closer, warning that next time, it's his head on the floor. The blonde man tells him to clean the mess and get out. He picks up a new glass and pours himself more wine. Hearing his name, he laughs. Nobody wants to fight the Chen family? Yushin promises to teach him a lesson. Meanwhile, 2 thugs help Jinu walk over to his car. He yells at them to be careful and not ruin his fake Jordans, demanding they treat him like a boss. They don't know there's a spip on the shoe, letting our boy listen from his room. He listens to them argue but freezes when they mention the Chen family. He rips off his headphones and stands up in a rage. He found him. Sean runs to the door to end him but stops. Rushing in is too dangerous and a quick death is too easy. He takes a breath, calms down, and decides to make a real plan. He has the money. Now he just needs loyal men to wipe out the enemy for good. The next day at the shooting range, Sean is hitting every single shot. A staff officer says the kid is better than the others. The guy shrugs, but the officer points to the target. Every single bullet hit right in the center of the head. Officer, he praises our boy, asking if a high schooler can really aim that well. Jealous, the guy grumbles that anyone can hit targets that aren't moving. Our hero stares at him, then asks officer if he can change things up. He asks the guy to throw a shell casing into the air, annoying him even more. The guy finally agrees, though he's clearly furious. As the casing flies up, Sean locks on and fires instantly. The bullet hits the casing perfectly, leaving both officers shocked. The guy calls it a fluke, but officer, he tells him to be a man and accept defeat. Annoyed, our boy offers to shoot blindfolded, but the officer stops them, saying he's seen enough. He asks his secret, and Sean lies about shooting carnival balloons. The officer actually believes the story, which surprises Sean even more. He then says he is here to ask for a favor. The officer agrees if it's legal. Sean says he wants to hire veterans for security. He wants to give those soldiers a fresh start and a purpose. Heroes shouldn't be cast aside. The team will keep order and stop criminals. The officer is moved and asks how he can help. He says he needs loyal men and a quick approval process. The officer will handle the paperwork and shares a veteran leader's contact. He takes the address and thanks him. The officer offers future help. He quietly thinks Yukin's time is, the punishment has begun. That night he looks at the name Pong and remembers him from his past life. Next day he goes to Shantytown, but the place is totally empty. The town is hard to navigate, but he finally finds the spot. He enters the shop, greets the man, and asks for Brother Ping. The man says he's not working today. Sean says Officer Sean sent him. The man stays quiet. Sean pulls out a paper and says he wants to talk. The man says he only fixes things now. Sean offers a job to fix his life. That makes him angry. Sean tries to calm him down, offering money for loyalty. The man asks how a kid like him has any right to say that. He says money can't buy respect. Sean says even a wild beast needs a whip. I don't need a whip, the man says, picking up some chopsticks. He throws one to the boy and bets they can't drop theirs. Sean hesitates, but then tells him to go ahead. They get close and Sean suddenly jumps into the air. He swings his chopstick, but the man blocks it easily. They lock up and Sean quickly follows with a kick. Brother Pang steps back as Sean asks how he likes being on the attack. The man rushes in with a punch. Sean ducks and kicks, knocking the chopstick from his hand. Just then, a kid walks in and shouts to his brother. The man yells for him to move, but the kid is too shocked to see the chopstick flying at him. Sean dashes forward and catches it just in time. Brother Ping rushes over, but the kid is fine and amazed at Sean's speed. He jokes about who would win in a real fight. The man stays quiet for a moment before asking Sean what he wanted to discuss. He points to the counter and explains that his brother depends on all that medicine. The veteran forces out the words that he wants to change his life, but he hasn't given up yet. He insists he could have caught the chopstick if his brother hadn't interfered, but he decides to trust Sean anyway. Sean reassures him that they won't do anything illegal and explains he wants to build a security company. He needs loyal fighters for tough situations and a leader to hold them together. He wants Brother Ping to lead the team. Later, inside Brother Ping's small room, a framed photo of his old army buddies hangs on the wall. His younger self smiles brightly in the picture, full of life. Sean looks at it and quietly asks what changed. Brother Ping smiles bitterly. Life doesn't always go as planned. After working hard for years, he was just thrown away like trash. Not wanting to talk about the past, he offers Sean some tea. Sean tells him to relax and admits he knows how much he has suffered. He asks if Brother Ping wants to die protecting scumbags. Hearing this leaves Brother Ping completely stunned. Sean adds calmly that soldiers like him shouldn't die with regrets. They deserve better. That's why he's starting a security company where veterans can work with dignity and earn an honest living. The company will protect regular people from criminals. He explains he needs a veteran who can lead a team. Moved by this, Brother Ping agrees instantly and swears complete loyalty to follow Sean. They bump fists. Sean then promises to help get medical care for Brother Ping's sick little brother. Sean tells Brother Ping to wait for his signal, then leaves. On the way home, he passes some kids playing in the street. A few steps later, he looks back and spots a shady figure watching him from a corner. He feels insulted that Chen Jinhu hired such a sloppy spy to watch him. Annoyed, he calls for the spy to show themselves. It is Lin Shi, and she looks hurt by his harsh words. Confused, he asks why she is following him. Lin Shi laughs and says stalking is a bit dramatic. He sighs and tells her to stay away from danger. She snaps back that he shouldn't be skipping tutoring either. She blushes and admits his bad habits worry her. Irritated, Sean reminds her he is dealing with dangerous people. Lin Shi smugly asks how dangerous it could be. Right on cue, a jeep speeds down the road straight at them. She freezes, confused about why it is speeding up. Sean yells at her to get out of the way. Instead, she jumps at him to push him to safety like a hero. Then she slips and falls. Shan quickly asks if she's hurt. She shrugs it off, saying she's not scared of danger. Talk about dedication. The jeep stops. A gang with swords jumps out, mad he's on their turf. Sean gets ready to fight and tells Lin Shi to close her eyes. She's just stunned they think they're dating. The thugs all charge at him. A few quick hits send them flying. Suddenly, Lin Shi screams a warning. A man lunges with a sword Sean can't dodge in time. A gunshot rings out. The bullet hits the blade, knocking it away. The thug stares, shocked to see his sword hit by the bullet. A cold voice from a nearby rooftop warns, "Our young lady," and the next shot won't miss. While Lin Shi is being treated inside, he waits anxiously out in the hallway. He burns with rage knowing the Chen family hurt her, silently swearing to make them pay. A nurse steps out and asks for family. He quickly asks how Lin Shi is doing. The nurse says she is fine but must stay overnight. Then asks him to sign papers if he is family. He sadly replies that he is only a classmate, so he cannot help. Suddenly, the colonel arrives and says he is family. Sean tries to apologize. The man walks right past him. Inside, Lindsay tells her father it was an accident and that Sean did his best to protect her. The colonel calms down and softly sighs that she worries him too much. She asks if the mysterious guards belong to his unit. He answers they are just family, telling her not to worry when she looks confused. The whole time, the boy stands outside the room, quietly listening to their conversation. It turns out the rumors about the Lin family's powerful connections are real. As the colonel turns to leave, he hears Lin Shi happily saying goodbye to her father. When the colonel steps out of the room, Sean apologizes again. He admits he put her in danger once and refuses to make the same mistake again. The colonel coldly replies that words mean nothing. Overwhelmed with guilt, Sean blames himself for everything. He says it is his fault she got hurt, and he is truly sorry, grabbing his shoulder firmly. The colonel tells him that if he really wants to apologize, he should take revenge on those responsible. Hearing that, Sean says he will definitely teach them a lesson. The colonel replies that he believes him, but he only has one daughter, and can't afford to let this happen again. After that, the colonel tells him his parents must be worried, so he should head home. Later that night, he overhears a helper telling Yukon they warned the boy. But the Lin family's daughter suffered minor injuries. Yukon says it's nothing to worry about, and a good way to see how the colonel reacts. His goon thinks Sean is just an insect they can crush anytime. Hearing this, our guy is annoyed they're talking big after getting beaten up. Then Yuchan reveals the demolition is just a cover. Once his network is done, the Chen dynasty takes over all business. He says those buildings are crucial, so they must take them by any means necessary. Our sergeant finally finds their weak spot. Yushin tells his men to stay careful until the goods arrive, then they can do whatever they want. Sean knows he must hurry and build his team before the goods get here. The next day, Brother Ping arrives with all the veterans from Chen Shan's file. Our hero introduces himself and welcomes them to Dragon Shield Securities. Right away, the men think he's messing with them and start questioning him. He calmly tells them to relax and points to the obstacle course. One veteran brags he won first place on a similar army course. Annoyed, he asks if Sean doubts them. Sean says no, then explains their mission. Stop the enemies legally, and always keep the client safe. Then, he decides to show them himself and asks Brother Pang to time him. Sean finishes the whole course in 58 seconds, easily hitting the target at the end. The veterans stare in shock. One asks how he did it when he looks like a skinny high school kid. The sergeant calmly says they are right. He really is just a high school student. He taunts them, saying they need to be faster than a high school kid. Otherwise, it is embarrassing if they can't even protect a client. Angered by his words, the veterans get fired up. They promise to show him what a real soldier can do and start training immediately. His dream team is finally ready, and he plans to use them to destroy his enemy and his dirty business. The next morning, Sean goes back to the old district. He rings the bell of an old house. An elderly woman steps out, looks at them suspiciously, and asks what they want. The boys politely introduce themselves as the new security team. They ask if she needs help with thieves or loan sharks. Then Sean looks into her eyes and asks if anyone has gone missing lately. The woman's face changes instantly, filled with panic. She quickly says everything is fine and slams the door shut. After that, everyone they ask refuses to talk or awkwardly changes the subject when missing people come up. Their friendly tone drops, and you can see the fear in their eyes. During lunch, Officer he sighs, "No point in investigating if everyone is this scared of whoever did it." He asks Sean what he's really after. Sean takes a bite of his bread and casually replies that his target is the Chen family. Officer he almost chokes, asking if he's serious. The Chens practically run the whole district. Sean cuts him off. Director Dong shared police info. 7 or 8 people are missing here, and those are just reported ones. Good officers investigated, but every lead went cold. Only the dark side of the Chen family could pull off something this clean and professional. Just as Officer he warns him that he's playing with fire, that fire walks right up to them. A local they questioned already tipped off Scar, the thug running this block. Sean knew a big group would have informants everywhere. Scar sneers, accusing them of entering his territory without permission. Officer he steps up to protect Sean, but Shin signals him to back off. Sean decides to handle the bad haircut guy himself, asking Scar if a real boss gets this mad over a chat. His smug look instantly makes Scar furious. Furious, the boss orders his right-hand man Big Mac to crush them. Big Mac charges forward like a human bowling ball to crush the enemy. However, Officer he casually stops him before he even starts rolling. He looks disappointed by the super lame name of the attack. He slams Big Mac into the floor, sending him straight into the gutter. Scar gets scared, but still sends 2 guys at once to overwhelm him. Meanwhile, he says he will personally teach the cocky kid a lesson. Scar yells at his minion for asking why the boss is taking the easy target for himself. Insulted, our guy tells him to take a shot. It would ruin his street rep to lose to a high schooler. The taunt works, and angry Scar gets fired up and charges, ready to drop him. But the boss is the one who takes a hard punch to the face and drops first. Seeing their leader fly back from that punch, the rest of the gang freezes in shock. Shan tells the minions to just take their beaten boss and go home before they get hurt too. As they walk away, the cop asks why he's letting them go. Sean says it's like fishing. Don't pull too fast, let them swim. They secretly follow the minions to their hideout. After everyone leaves, Man stops with a serious look. He checks that the coast is clear, then walks the opposite way from his house. He walks slowly to the back of the warehouse where a black car is parked. The driver gets out and opens the trunk. Watching from behind a wall, the boys know right away it's something illegal. A big sack falls out of the trunk, shaking and moving wildly. Scar yells at the moving, screaming sack to shut up and behave. The boys realize someone is stuffed inside. It's a kidnapping. The officer almost rushes in angrily but stops when he sees the criminals trying to run. The angry man asks our hero what to do. He suggests they watch, follow them, or call the police. Shan steps out and yells that he's a cop, telling Scar and his partner to freeze. His shocked partner decides to play along. Scar and his friend are shocked at first but quickly realize it's a lie. When Scar recognizes Sean and his partner pulls out a hidden knife. Scar claims they are just security guards. They argue over fighting the guards. Scar warns they are pros, not regular men. Sean ignores them and attacks. Scar's friend tries to stab Sean but gets parried and punched as his partner's warning goes ignored. The guy hits the wall like a doll, making Scar regret his life. He shouts at his partner, then stops as the officer appears. The giant towers over the scared thug and asks why he tried to run. Disappointed, the officer reminds Scar that they must share all gains and losses. Scar argues they already had a rough time together earlier. Looking for an excuse to fight, the boys forget their earlier struggle. They quickly handle the thugs and free the person in the bag. They are shocked to find Yang Tiani, their old class rep, tied up and crying. At the station, they tell Director Dong about the arrest. The director explains the girl's tragic story. His dad's on trial, they took his home, and he got kicked out of school. He lost his fortune and ended up homeless. A rough fall. To make it worse, thugs almost grabbed him. Dong feels bad, but our lead asks about Scar's gang. The boss says they're just hired muscle, not connected to the Chens. The deputy adds they smuggle illegal goods to the warehouses. Our lead realizes those warehouses belong to the Chen family. The boss sighs, saying their business looks clean and they can't get a warrant. They go inside to check a map. Sean sees the warehouse connects to the old city via an old rail line. He connects the dots. The Chens are using the construction zone to smuggle goods. He tries to convince the deputy to search the site. The old man sweats and warns him that someone powerful protects the Chens. Our lead sees through the bluff and calls his bluff right back. He explains how he profits from the old city demolitions and suggests a deal. He says if the Chens stay away, he keeps the cash. He adds that they must take down the Chens to share the spoils. Director Dong goes quiet. Sean tells him not to be scared of small problems. The old man shouts he won't allow this, standing up for the poor. He promises to handle the pressure from above to keep the plan moving. Our hero smiles, saying that's what he wanted to hear. He asks the director for the official police order to check the warehouse district. Director Dong is surprised but agrees right away. He warns him to be careful as the Chens are dangerous. Our hero smirks and says he's tough to handle too. They move to a rundown warehouse where Sean and his squad watch from cover. The team scouts the area, noting all the cameras and constant guard patrols. Sean shows them a map and points to a blind spot by a tall tree. Next, he sends 2 men to sneak in and cut the backup power and cameras. The 2 head out. Meanwhile, Sean and Officer He head to the sewer to break in. At the sewer, he quickly cuts the bars and chains with bolt cutters. The 2 sneak inside and enter the building through a manhole. Inside, they spot 2 lazy guards talking about the blind spot Sean found. They act fast and knock both guards out cold. They move deeper inside and soon find a horrible truth. In a dark, dirty lab, rows of cages hold weak prisoners. Cruel scientists are walking around, testing on the helpless victims. They try to hide their anger, and Sean recognizes the setup as matching. His partner looks confused, asking what he means. He explains simply, there's an illegal organ trade right in front of them. The officer wants to rush in, but our hero stops him and grabs his phone. He records it all to get solid proof for later. Finished, he nods to Officer He. They burst through the door, shocking the scientists inside. Goons try to escort scientists away, but Officer He grabs the files while our hero fights the thugs to protect the prisoners. His partner tries to snatch the papers from the workers, but misses. Guards surround them, trying to pin them down. Even worse, a scientist shreds the documents right in front of Officer He. More thugs pour in and block the exits. It's a trap. Sean heads for the files but stops when the prisoners beg for help. Hearing their pleas, he changes his plan. He tells his partner to forget the files and save the people. He throws a punch and vows that everyone gets out alive. The next day, Sean tells the director the hostages are safe. He shows the director the proof of the imprisonment. It also lists details about the surgeries. Director Dong checks the files and warns him the Chens won't let this go. Sean laughs and says he sounds like a scared cat already. The director snaps back, asking why he'd quit now when it's getting good. The gun is loaded. He has to fire. Everything comes down to this one big move. Next day, a guy buys a paper and asks what all the noise is about. The seller says his missing son is finally home safe. The guy mentions the kidnappings and asks what really went on. The shopkeeper points to the big headline. The man reads it, shocked that this could happen in broad daylight. Director Dong tells reporters he's formed a special team reporting only to him. He promises to dig into the company and everyone involved. A reporter asks what he'll do if the Chens are guilty. Smiling grimly, he promises to bring down the gang behind this mess. At the Chen estate, a beaten Lord Jinu lies on the floor. Yushin stands over him and says, "I'll handle things now." He sneers, "You're an amazing watchdog. You just watch and do absolutely nothing. The warehouse was raided right in front of you, and we lost the entertainment city." The young master asks Jinhu, "Do you realize how much we lost just because you were bugged?" His uncle begs shakily, "This won't happen again. Please give me another chance." Annoyed Chen says, "I must have grown too soft after working with you for so long." The young master tells him, "Come with me for a quiet walk by the river." He orders his men, "Clean up Lord Hu and change the carpet. It's way too dirty." In reality, the young master had already planned to get rid of Jinhu from the start. His men dump the body in the river without a second thought. A worker says it's done. Yu tells them to leave and heads off. On the way, his aide shows him the warehouse security footage. Yukon recognizes the boy and asks who he is. He's called Sean. The master says it's a bold name for a nobody. His aide says Sean runs a security firm and has police ties. Chen laughs like a psycho, finding it all very funny. He thought it was a random nobody, but he walked into a trap. It doesn't matter who he's with. He'll pay for crossing the Chens. A few hours later, Chen returns to his mansion. He calls someone and orders them to hire the best cleaner to get rid of the boy immediately. But the man on the phone snaps. It's his granduncle, who starts lecturing him for making a huge mess. The old man tells him he has deeply disappointed the family and dragged them into trouble. Because of this, they are lowering his family rank and cutting his assets in half. Yushin tries to argue, but his granduncle shuts him down and tells him to go kneel in the ancestral hall. The call abruptly ends, and the blonde guy just stares at his phone, wondering what just happened. He throws his phone to the ground and rants that the family treats him like a dog. Then he laughs like crazy and decides to blame everything on Sean. Meanwhile, our guy is standing in line to get his property compensation money. The old man behind him asks if he is there for the payout too and wonders how many units he owns. Sean casually holds up 3 fingers, shocking the old man who thinks he owns 3 units. Our guy starts to explain but stops, realizing the old man might faint if he finds out it is actually 3 whole buildings. Finally, his turn. The clerk tells him to read and sign the form. Finished, Sean feels his hard work will pay off. Days later, his company and the veterans start training. He only gets to relax when he is at school. Next day, Lynchie is shocked he topped the midterms and says he worked hard. Clueless, Sean says he did not study and just used his brain. That annoys her. She tries to kick him, saying he should thank her for tutoring. She grabs his tie and teases him for being nervous around girls. A crowd gathers, jealous of him talking so easily to the school idol. Suddenly, a guy pushes through the crowd and calls him out. We can't ignore Shan's mistakes anymore. The committee decided to give him a warning letter. Lynchie steps in, but Sean's case is special. Chairman Joe reminds her all special cases must be reported to the student council. No exceptions. Calm down, Lynchie, Sean says. What exactly is this about? You must publicly admit your mistakes during Monday's assembly, the chairman instructs. Students whisper, wondering if the council even has this power. Sean stands his ground. What if I refuse? Joe's face turns cold. Then we will recommend stricter action to the academic office, which could mean detention. Sean realizes it's a setup. This is Goei Lin, she yells. Chairman smirks. Are you going to be a good boy and comply? Sean fires back. Do you have official approval from the principal or academic office to do this? A lackey quickly claims, we don't need it. The student council has the power to give punishments. Sean shuts him down. So this is nothing more than your own decision. He steps closer, looks the chairman in the eye and asks, did you ever think there are some people you just shouldn't mess with? Joe asks, are you threatening me? Just then, Lynchie steps in to calm things down. She tells him, go home for now, or my dad will start to worry. The two walk away, leaving the chairman furious. He tells himself, I will get revenge no matter what. In the academic office, he complains to director Wang. Students these days are completely disrespectful. Shan always skips class, shows and even challenged the student council. This disrespect can't be tolerated. To his surprise, the director just sighs and sets his coffee mug down. He tells Joe, "We need to understand the full situation before making any decisions." The chairman stands firm, saying the proof is obvious. The director says special cases need a careful touch. Joe gets annoyed and asks what's so special about that skinny guy. The director says the principal and the board support Sean. That really surprises Joe. The director asks if he thinks he's in charge. There are powerful people above him. Joe gets angry, shocked that Sean has such strong support. The director warns him to stay on Sean's good side. He says the Yang family thought they were safe too. Look what happened to them. Joe keeps pushing, but Director Wong tells him to calm down. Joe storms out, realizing it's pointless, thinking that if he doesn't punish Sean now, he will only get more arrogant. Meanwhile, the director sighs again, saying the younger generation really needs to be more understanding. Later, the student council chairman goes to a local bar to drink away his frustration. The girls there try to cheer him up, telling him to relax. One of the girls gets bold and suggests that he forget everything and just enjoy himself. But then Joe snaps, pushing her away and yelling at her for acting so familiar with him. He screams the boy's name at the top of his lungs. Just then, Yukon speaks up, saying he must really hate Sean to act like this. Joe turns around and demands to know who is laughing at him. The blonde ignores the question and mentions they share a common enemy. Putting it together, the student council chairman asks what beef Yukon has against Sean. He dodges the question and asks if Joe wants to take that brat down. The chairman says Sean has big connections and won't be easy to handle. Chen says he has a plan and wants to talk about it. Next day, Sean sleeps in class while Baldy tries to wake him. The teacher walks in and tells everyone to be quiet. Standing by a new kid, he says they have a transfer student today. The guy doesn't hide who he is and says he's Yu Chen. Hearing that name, Sean gets alert and looks to the front. Even with a new look, he still sees that same mean glint. He wonders why the hell Chen is here. Meanwhile, the teacher looks around to decide where to seat the new student. He happens to spot an empty seat in the back, right next to Sean. Yukon smiles, walks over to Sean, and tells him to take good care of the new guy. The scene shifts to Chen's mansion. Hearing strange laughter, the guards rush in to check on him. He tells them to get lost and not to bother him while he does his homework. In reality, he is planning how to destroy Shan and make him suffer, starting by pretending to be his friend. After that, he will find all his weak points and torture him until he loses his mind. He talks to himself about revenge, while the guards wonder if their young master has gone crazy. The next day, the students are at the track, preparing for long-distance running. The blonde kid remembers that Sean has a strong connection with justice. This is the perfect chance to start his plan. Students line up, the teacher signals, and they bolt with our hero leading. Yu Chin runs alongside, fakes a slip, and shouts that he's falling, but our hero ignores him and keeps on running. The blonde guy is confused why his plan failed. He's fuming, wondering if Sean even noticed him. The coach grabs his shoulder and says Chen needs to go to the nurse, but the guy tries to refuse. The coach insists he's hurt and carries him off while he throws a fit. He says he was once a pro weightlifter and tells a student to take over. Watching the new kid carried like a princess, Baldy wonders if he's crazy. Even Sean wonders if Yukon is this clumsy or just acting to trick him. In chemistry, the teacher tells them to pair up. Yukon sees his chance and approaches Sean, who is chatting with Baldy. Yukon calls out, asking if Sean can help him understand the lesson. Jai stops him, saying the hero already has a partner. Chen tries to argue, but Baldy says he is the only one who gets to hang on to Sean. Yukon is shocked that anyone would be proud to be a leech. Deciding it's a waste of time, he apologizes and leaves. Baldy jokes that if the new guy trips on flat ground, he'll break everything. That surprises the blonde, who almost shouts that it was his plan. Now furious, Yukon adds Jai to his hit list. Walking home from school, Leanie tags along with Sean, chattering away. But Sean is lost in thought, wondering what Yukon is planning. He can't let his guard down yet. Suddenly, weird voices make them stop. Lynchy thinks it fight, but Sean walks away to stay out of it. Two thugs are shaking down Yu Chen, demanding money for crossing their turf. Using his acting skills, he cries for help like a broke newbie. Lynchy asks Sean to help, but Sean just points out a sausage stall ahead. Yushin panics, wondering if Sean truly didn't notice. Stopping the act, he grabs the thug's collar and demands a real punch. The scared thug hesitates, but the blonde threatens to chop his fingers off. With no choice, the thug apologizes and punches. Hard, Yushin flies back from the hit, but smiles, silently begging Sean to look. The punch lands hard enough to knock out a tooth, which proves to be more fragile than his ego. Still, the psycho orders his lackeys to keep beating him. They can't stop until the black-haired guy saves him. The thugs hesitate, but he threatens to rip their teeth out if they disobey. Terrified, they do what they're told. He screams in pain so loudly that even Linshi feels uncomfortable listening to it. Her sense of justice kicks in. Turning around, she refuses to stand by and watch a classmate get bullied. She marches right up to the thugs beating up Uchan and tells them to stop, as if that would make them change their ways. The guys are annoyed she isn't their target. They tell her to leave, but Linshi refuses, saying she has to protect her classmate. She stands right in front of Yu Chen, shielding him from his own hired thugs. The purple-haired guy tells her to scram, warning her that he doesn't go easy on girls. That backfires. Linshi stands her ground and says she doesn't deal with scumbags. They claim they're just poor students earning money. Linshi tells them to get a life. Fed up with her lecturing, the guy throws a punch. Lindsay flinches but stays put. Shan saves her just in time. Linshi smiles happily the moment she sees him. Yu Chen smiles as his plan works. Shan tells the thugs to scram after they leave. Shan checks on Linshi and scolds her for being reckless. Yu Chen thanks him, pretending to be a lonely transfer student. He acts so well that Linshi feels for him. She tells him to come to her if he gets bullied again. Sean smiles warmly and says he can reach out anytime since they are classmates. Inside, he is angry that this creep is near his girl. Yukon shakes his hand happily. Under their polite smiles, both are secretly planning revenge. Yukon slowly joins Sean's group. He acts normal, but Sean stays on guard. One morning, the blonde guy suggests they get drinks later. Jai thinks he wants a spot. Yukon takes the yelling and keeps trying to get close. After school, he even waits for Jai at his house. Baldy is shocked he followed him home. When asked why, Yukon says he is safer with them. He gives him a new PS5 as a thank you gift. The broke student had never seen anything so expensive. Forgetting his grudge, Yushin puts an arm around Jai and asks how close he really is with Sean. Jai proudly says they are closer than brothers. Yushin then asks what Sean does for fun. Without thinking, Jai mentions that Sean mostly trains and runs his security company. Right then, he realizes how suspicious these questions sound. The guy seems totally shady. Yushin laughs it off and says he just wants to learn how to run a side hustle. Later, his friend is shocked when Jai shows off a brand new console. He refuses to believe Jai got it legally and accuses him of stealing his dad's credit card again. He asks if his past beating taught him anything. Jai sweats just remembering that beating. He admits his body couldn't handle another round with the belt. Then he proudly brags that he got the console completely free. He copies how Yukon begged for info about Sean's business in exchange for the gift. With dollar signs in his eyes, the idiot openly admits he sold out. Even so, he knows it looks fishy that Yukon suddenly cares about the business. He claims the guy just wants to learn to hustle. Jai promises he would never leak important secrets. Hearing that, Sean starts to trust his friend again. Jai boasts that he is the king of draining people dry. He adds that the young master wanted to meet by the river to get the info. Sean asks what time they were meeting. Jai thinks and says it was 2 hours ago, admitting he never planned to go. Laughing, Jai says Yuchin is too annoying to deal with, so he ditched him. Sean hopes the guy doesn't get sick, since the weather is freezing. Right now, Yuchin is sneezing non-stop by the riverside. Shivering from head to toe, he wonders why his informant is so late. His bodyguard steps out and wraps a coat around him to keep him warm. Yuchin snaps at him, saying he needs a bodyguard, not a babysitter, or the plan is ruined. The bodyguard won't budge, saying his health comes first. Besides, the bald kid clearly bailed on him. He refuses to think a loser would skip out, since Jai should be. Excited about his new game, he waits by the river until midnight. Next morning, he grabs Jai's collar and demands to know why he missed it. Baldy acts clueless about the meeting. He shamelessly acts like he never agreed to meet. That makes Yushin angrier. Ike asks why he'd go on a late-night date with another guy anyway. That comment makes the young master want to smack him. Just then, he sees our boy nearby on a call. To save his bigger plan, he lets him go. Before leaving, he warns him not to play dirty when he has no talent or brains. Jai walks away, thinking the guy really needs anger management. After that, Yushin turns to Sean, is openly talking business at school. Walking past, he hears about a military inspection, reminding him of Sean's army ties through Linshi's family. Now he gets how Sean found experts to raid his warehouse. Like a bad spy, he thinks no one knows he's listening. That illusion shatters when he sneezes loud enough to alert the whole neighborhood. Realizing he's caught, he sprints off, convinced he just found the story of the century. Watching him run, Sean's friend jokes he looks like he's fleeing. Debt collector. Sean owes a lot. Guy is confused. Before, the Chen family's young master seemed untouchable. Now he's just a twig Sean can easily snap, but he won't let him off easy. To make him pay for the pain, he'll bring his whole family down until they beg for mercy. Later, at the Chen mansion, the young master throws a tantrum. He orders his servants to find all of Shan's assets, including his money transfers with the Lin family. Follow the money trail carefully, and you can uncover all their operations. His bodyguard warns that the move is rash, especially after the warehouse failure. The young master snaps at him to stop making excuses. The bodyguard stands his ground, reminding him that the police director is watching them. He adds that getting Shan into school cost a fortune. Yuchen explodes, calling him a peasant for obsessing over money and claiming he is useless without it. Yuchen then pulls his trump card, Daddy's money. He moves the rug to reveal a floor safe. He opens it right in front of the bodyguard, arrogantly, certain that no one would dare touch his wealth. He boasts about the cash and gold bars he has saved, claiming they can solve any problem. Stunned, the bodyguard insists that money isn't the problem. It's the risk of breaking the law. He warns that acting now will draw too much attention. Yuchan laughs coldly, saying he's already in too deep to quit now. He orders his men to find the link between Shan and the Lin family at any cost. Knowing he has no choice, the bodyguard leaves to carry out the orders. After venting his anger, the young master finally calms down. He figures our boy is feeling proud for making a fool of him. He smiles evilly, picturing Shan's face when the trap springs. Meanwhile, a car sits parked across the street from Shan's house. The photographer is ready, waiting to snap any photos he can. Our boy calmly closes the blinds. He tells Brother Pang that Yu Chen is like a desperate gambler in deep debt, willing to try anything to win his money back. The man admits he never thought a mere high schooler could push the young master this far. To be safe, he suggests letting Director Dong arrest him, since Yuchan is already a criminal. Our boy explains that he is thinking too simply. When a powerful family like the Chens is the target, the law won't stop them. At worst, they'll just buy a new identity and live like nothing happened. Stop, Yukin, and his family will just send someone even more dangerous. If you attack a snake and miss, it will strike back. The best way to handle a snake is to pull its fangs first. Take everything away until its own family abandons it. Sean shows a map of the suburbs to explain. He plans to fake an inspection and mention the military. Sean knows Yukin will panic and cut ties with the military and Lin. Pang worries that one call isn't enough bait, so Sean adds more to hook him. He knows the perfect bait for Yu Chen, someone Yu Chen thinks he completely controls. Brother Pang looks at him closely. Are you really serious about using Baldy as bait? The strategist explains, Yuchan is trying to use G against us. If his best friend leaks the news, it will definitely make him mad. Brother Pang disagrees. Jia is just an innocent student. He'll have to face Yukin's revenge later. The strategist replies calmly, his innocence is exactly why Yuch Chen won't suspect a trap. Plus, he won't be in real danger. Jai just needs to act like a loud idiot who loves money and can't keep a secret. The next morning, his buddy walks up to Yukin and acts overly friendly, as if nothing happened. Annoyed, Yuchen tells him, get out of my sight. Jai leans in. Are you sure? I happen to know the latest update on Sean's business. Yuchen asks, why should I trust someone who already scammed me? He says he's rich, doesn't care about a console, and tells Baldy to get lost. Baldy mumbles something and asks if he's interested now. Curious, Yukin grabs his collar, shakes him, and demands the truth. Jai asks why he's acting so rude all of a sudden. Yukin slowly lets go of his collar. Baldy says since he's rich, the info will cost him more this time. He asks what else he wants. Guy says the console was just a fee, so the deal is off. As Baldy walks away, Yukin regrets not being able to crush him like before. Jai mocks him, saying he's broke despite acting rich. Yukin stops him and asks what he wants. Baldy wants. Yukin agrees easily. As he transfers the money, Baldy tells him to focus so he doesn't send it to the wrong account. Yuchen asks if that's enough. Privately, he remembers Sean once calling him petty. Baldy says she needs him to cover his classes due to work. Jai asks what's really going on. Yushin explains Sean went west because the military is inspecting his company to build a huge logistics center. This matches exactly what Yukin heard when he listened in on Sean's phone call earlier. The young master asks Baldy if it's a trap. Shan wouldn't share such important info so easily. Jai replies that he and Sean are like brothers, so they trust each other and share everything. Chen mocks him, saying Sean is lucky to have him. But Baldy notes they are actually just alike. The young master asks for specific details, like the inspection time or the inspector's name. Baldy asks if he's an idiot, since asking that would expose him as a spy. Isn't this info enough? Then Baldy mocks him, saying his skills are just basic. How does he expect to fight Sean with that? He tells him to avoid Sean before it gets worse. He might lose too much just for a small win. The young master gets mad and asks why he always doubts him. Baldy says he is just helping as a friend, but Yushin yells at him to share everything. If he betrays him, he will deeply regret it. Jai promises he won't do that because their bond is much stronger. Baldy leaves and the young master wonders if he can still trust him, but he decides the idiot won't let him down anyway. Then he quietly sends the details to his men. He thinks he can easily kill Sean once he loses the military's protection for good. Meanwhile, Brother Ping is watching both of them. He tells our boy that Chen took the bait and is messaging his men. He says Baldy is safe and asks for next orders. Our boy tells him to wait, because if they let him move freely, he will expose himself. Ping says he will stay put. Suddenly his phone rings and he says he has to answer it. He answers, but what he hears shocks him completely. He says he's on his way and will be there soon. His little brother is getting worse and was rushed to the hospital. He waits anxiously outside while doctors operate on his brother. He is in critical condition, fighting for his life. The doctor comes out and asks for Biff's. Baipong says he's his older brother. The doctor tells him that his brother has taken a turn for the worse. They show him a heart scan and explain how his condition got worse. Confused, Bipeng asks what he means, since they said treatment could wait. The doctor says it's a rare case with medical risks. Baipong asks what happens to his brother without treatment. The doctor says he only has 3 months to live. Shocked, Baipong asks if there is another way since normal surgery only has a 30% success rate. The doctor says a new drug plus surgery raises it to 80%. Hopeful, Baipong asks how much it costs. The doctor explains that 3 rounds of treatment plus surgery will cost an absolute fortune. He feels completely devastated, but the doctor adds there might be another option to help him. Handing him a card, the doctor says he knows a generic supplier. It has 70% of the effect but costs much less. Of course, this means risking the quality of the medicine. Just then our boy shows up and firmly grabs Bipeng's hand. He tells the doctor they will use the real medicine. He wants the best treatment and the best room. He makes it clear that money is no object. The doctor thinks he's joking and asks if he knows how expensive this will be. Without blinking, he pulls out his checkbook and writes a check for $1 million. He says this is just a deposit and he'll pay any extra costs later without a second thought. The doctor is shocked, but he reassures him the check is perfectly good. Brother Pang tries to stop him, but Sean tells him to calm down and focus on what matters. Money can be remade, but if his brother dies, he's gone forever. He tells the doctor to move the patient to a VIP room and start treatment right away. The doctor nods quickly and leaves, promising to handle everything himself. Meanwhile, Baipong remembers when he thought he could make a difference in the world, but after facing harsh reality, he realized he couldn't change a thing. He knows now that some things are just out of his hands. Even the strongest mind can break over time. He tells Sean he might have given up on life if they met later, ending up as a gang thug or worse. He tells him to let go of the past and focus on the present. They are homies, so he will protect his family. Later that night, a black car stops at an unknown spot and Yukon gets out. Looking around, he remarks it's a real dump. He asks if this is where Sean will reveal his grand plan. His lackeys confirm it's the right spot. He says Sean has some interesting ways to get power quickly. An underling adds they got a tip that the military will inspect the area in 4 days. The young master asks for the exact time and the security situation. The underling says it's at 2:00 p.m. There are few guards now, but Dragon Shield security takes over on the main day. The young master smiles and mocks Sean for begging the military like a stray dog. He claims he will easily crush Sean right in front of them. He yells that if this is a stage, Sean is just a clown performing on it. Then they get into the car and drive away together. On the way back, Yukon plans his next move while his follower asks what he's thinking. Pointing at the storage area, he says he wants an accident to happen there on the big day. He says an incident there won't kill anyone, but will cause huge embarrassment. Chen explains the plan. Send protesters to create a distraction, then set the storage area on fire. He wants the military to think the boy can't even secure his own property. The follower asks, what if things get out of control? Yukon snaps, they've already killed people. There's no need to pretend anymore. He orders him to contact all the reliable men still in the city, promise them a big reward and help getting them out safely. Thinking of the reward, the thug promises it will get done. The boss thinks he is close to beating Sean. Next morning, soldiers arrive at site. Dragon Shield is ready. Chong tells Wong that our boy hired only veterans. They introduce themselves. Wong says he will inspect the site first. The vice captain leads them to the training ground. Suddenly, a crowd arrives at gate chanting against Dragon Shield. A man on crutches and a woman claim they were beaten and want arrests. Officer Wong turns to Chung Zhan. What's going on here? Chung Zhan replies, I have no idea. They both look at the vice captain, but he completely denies it too. They're lying, he says. My team would never do that. Cheng Shan immediately believes them. The man on crutches rushes forward shouting, "Shan is a mafia boss! Lock him up!" As things heat up, the team steps in but Cheng Shan stops them. "Don't fight back, it'll make us look guilty." The vice captain stands there, unable to believe what is happening. Meanwhile, back at school, Yu Chen watches the whole thing on a live stream. To him, the whole setup looks very real. Laughing, he wonders how Shan will handle the mess. But then he spots Shan chilling at the cafeteria, eating lunch like nothing's wrong. Shan eats a rice ball while scrolling through Instagram. Ji leans over and asks, "What are you watching?" Shan smiles and talks loudly about a boxing match so Yu Chen can hear. He can't believe this guy is watching boxing while his company's reputation is being ruined. Just then, strange noises crackle through Yu Chen's earpiece. His face turns pale when he checks the live feed. The police arrived on the scene way too quickly. Officers move in fast and immediately detain one of the victims. Suddenly, the director calls the man by his real name and asks how his broken leg was treated so quickly. The man starts sweating bullets as the officer easily pieces everything together. The whole accident is fake. Director Dong steps in fully in control and orders his men to arrest everyone. His squad quickly rounds them up without hurting anyone. Even the staff officer looks surprised by how fast the police arrived. The veteran looks around carefully. He spots a figure on the high skyscraper. Director Dong's man says it's all on tape. The veteran is impressed by Shan's clever trap. Back in class, the young master shakes. The police shouldn't be here. He turns around and finally realizes the truth. Our boy grins. Yukin knows he lost. He was supposed to be hidden. He grinds his teeth and slams the table. A girl sees the new student and asks if he's okay. Hearing her calling him a student wakes him up. He remembers he's still undercover. He frowns and says his stomach hurts from bad milk. Then he storms off, acting angry. Jai wonders if his friend pushed the blonde guy too far. He says dogs bark before they die, but it won't save them. Then he texts Director Dong to thank him for the help. In the bathroom, the guy is kicking doors and losing. He's trapped and doesn't even know who Sean is. That hurts the most. He thinks he didn't mess up. His plan seemed perfect. Then he realizes his mistake. It was the guy he bribed for info. He regrets that one mistake might cost him everything. He starts to respect his target. If Shan's people could beat his plan, he underestimated them. Still, one thing doesn't make sense. Baldy shouldn't have known he'd attack Shan's company. A scary thought hits him. What if Baldy was pulling the strings the whole time? He pauses. Maybe his real enemy is way more dangerous than Shan. He laughs at how he focused on the wrong person. Just then, someone knocks on the stall door and tells him to open up and get out. Shocked, he quickly thinks of everyone connected to Shan, wondering who it could be. Getting trapped in a bathroom stall would easily be the most embarrassing moment of his life. A second later, the janitor says he just needs to clean the stall and go home. Yukin sighs in relief. Realizing he's overthinking, he steps out with a fake smile and apologizes to the janitor. Even the janitor talks down to him, telling the punk not to cause trouble for others. The young master apologizes again, blaming his constipation for being late. Worried, the janitor offers to take him to the clinic. Yu-chan then walks down the hall, acting as if he didn't just have a meltdown. The girls grin at his smile, seeing a cute guy who lifts their spirits. Yuch is embarrassed, realizing his act only earns him pity. He keeps up the act for a specific reason. At the site, an officer tells Dong they caught the troublemakers, some of whom were already wanted. Besides the demolition profits, the director loves the gift. Shan left. He sees how proud Shan looks. Shan stays humble, saying his friends at Dragon Shield tipped him off. Suddenly, a huge brother Ping yells his thanks from behind, looming over him. The captain then says their company's methods are impressive. With business done, they head to the next inspection site. Director Dong tells him they shared credit for catching the 3 vigilantes. The only loose end left is Yu Chen. He suggests calling him to the office, but Shan has other plans. He wants to let the mad dog run free for a few days before stopping him. Still, it bothers him that the dog didn't show up at school. He checks his house and his mom's shop to make sure things are normal. Lynchy's house is quiet too. That makes him even more suspicious of Yu Chen. A proud nutcase like him wouldn't just sit home and cry after being shamed like this. Later that day, G naps after class. Our boy wakes him up. His friend grumbles about being tired from no sleep. Sean warns him to stick to his usual route home. With Yukin missing, everyone close to him is in danger. The guy is probably hiding somewhere waiting to strike. That night he eats dinner with his mom, but he can't stop staring at his phone. The areas outside house, Lynchy's place and his mom's shop are all completely clear. Almost too clear. Seeing how stressed he looks, his mom asks if something is wrong at work. When he denies it, she shouts and tells him to put his phone away and enjoy her cooking. She is still the only woman who truly scares him, but he has to ignore her when an unexpected call comes in from G. A call this late is unusual. He immediately feels like something is wrong. He picks up right away and asks his buddy if everything is okay. He hears crying on the other end. Jai sobs, telling him his mom was kidnapped. Sean jumps out of his chair and demands to know exactly when it happened. Sitting alone at the table, his friend says he came home to an open door, a messy house, and a missing mom. Only a note was left. Sean asks what it says. His friend reads it. Meet alone at the old brick factory in the suburbs. No weapons, no police, or his mom is dead. He remembers that the factory belongs to Jin-Hoo. It was sealed off a long time ago. Furious, he can't believe how low Chen-Yu will go. Still, he quickly thinks of a plan to hit back just as hard. First, he tells Jay to leave his house right away and take a car to his place instead. They agree to meet at the corner park. His friend breaks down crying about what he will do if she is gone. He grips the note tightly, saying he can't go on without her. Sean promises to get her back from Chen by any means. He hangs up and rushes to the front door. He packs his bag and sets off, ready to drag Yukon through hell one last time. But his mom stops him, asking where he is going so late. He casually says he is just going to study with his friend. His mom doesn't buy the excuse but lets him go anyway, hoping he'll be safe. Her words surprise him. Stepping out confidently, he tells her to save him some dinner because he'll be starving when he gets back. At the park, he finds G sitting miserably on a cold bench. Crying uncontrollably, he complains about how long Sean took to get there, reminding him that his mom's life is in serious danger. Sean calms him down and asks for the note. He checks it under the dim park light and quickly realizes it isn't handwritten. It's printed out. His friend asks why his family was targeted since they never mess with anyone and he only talks trash in Counter-Strike. Gio is shocked when Sean admits it's all because of him. Chen-Yu is the next heir of the Chen family, and Sean has been fighting with him for a while. To get revenge, Sean kept humiliating him without holding back. He should have handled that guy when he had a clean chance. His friend's mom getting kidnapped is his fault, and he feels truly sorry for it. Suddenly, his friend tells him to stop making lame excuses. As his boss, Shun's supposed to be confident and take responsibility by fixing the problem. Instead of an apology, he wants to see Yu Chen get punished. Jai adds that Sean is the toughest guy he knows and most importantly, his best friend. For his friend and revenge, he leaves at once. He is ready to make Yu Chen pay. He gets in the car and calls his team. Ping says his brother is better, so he can go. Sean tells him to surround the old factory quietly. Everyone waits, and 2 men must guard his home. Ping says he has already sent the teams. Next, Sean calls Director Dong, who knows the plan. The director says his teams are waiting nearby. Sean tells him to stay further back so Yu Chen does not find out. The director agrees to wait for the signal. Even he is worried about Sean going in alone. He has no choice. It is the only way to save the hostage. Besides, Yu Chen wants to make it last. The director trusts his plan. Sean is not so sure his trick worked, but only a little. He underestimated his enemy and is walking into a trap. He grips the wheel, angry that his new life has not changed much. He realizes what happens if Auntie Dong dies. He could not live with that. Looking at his friends cry, or seeing himself in the mirror reminds him of it. That is why he won't let this fail. He takes a slow breath and makes himself focus. The team sees no cameras, but they find heat signs of a possible ambush. He asks for their spots. They say they will surround the area from 3 sides. He tells Team 2 wait, and Team 3 to move on his signal. Then he speeds to the site. He gets out of the car at the factory and looks up. He sees a reflection. Above, Yu Chen is happy his target is. The guard fears a trap, but Yu Chen feels in control. They have a hostage Sean can't ignore. The tied-up woman whimpers through the tape on her mouth. The blonde guy asks if she's happy her son's friend came for her. He laughs like a madman, eager to see how Sean reacts. He thinks this is his stage and Sean will play along. A bomb on the table is ready to blow at any second. Sean tells Ping he's going in. Ping says team will storm in after 3 minutes. Sean ignores him and creeps into the dark factory. Suddenly, Yu Chen shows up and asks if he needs some light. A show needs good lighting. Sean tells him to shut up and show him the hostage. Yu Chen ignores the insult and claps. Lights turn on, shining a spotlight on Auntie Dong. The villain tells Sean to play along if he wants her to live. He points to a red circle on the floor and our hero steps inside. Without hesitation, he says this is nothing. He is ready for anything. Yukon smirks. He says a good show takes time, and they are just getting started. He presses a remote, opening a nearby shutter. Shan's eyes widen when he sees someone tied to a chair. He has no idea who this random old man is. His enemy notices his confusion and reveals the man is the school janitor. Our MC side-eyes him, wondering if Yu Chen is high on something. The blonde villain offers two choices: save his best friend's mother, or save the innocent guy who cleans the school. No strings attached, but the one he doesn't choose gets shot on the spot. Their blood will be on his hands. Laughing like a madman, Yu Chen tells him to hurry up because he only has 10 seconds to choose. Surprisingly, Shan smiles and says 10 seconds is all he needs. The young master is stunned, confused by his words. Shan steps out saying he has a third choice. He'll save both hostages and jail the guy. Yu Chen sweats, shocked by how crazy his target is, panics and tells his men to protect him. A masked shooter pops out and aims at him. He ducks and the bullet misses him completely. The shooter, annoyed, aims again. He spots a pile of rubble nearby. He grabs a brick, throws it, and knocks him out cold. That takes down the first guy. He spots another. The window ducks, grabs a chunk of cement and smashes it into the guy's face. Something feels wrong. He heard more than 2 shots. He was right. A third shooter has him in his sights from above. The man warns him to stay still or get shot. Shan dares him and charges. Within seconds, he reaches him, but the shooter freezes. He tells the amateur to stop playing assassin. Like a true, disarms him and kicks him against the wall. The man goes down instantly. After knocking him out, Yukon screams in panic. His hired pros were a total waste of money. He cornered his last card and orders his backup out of hiding. They never expected a high schooler to beat 3 hitmen. His bodyguard appears with a huge guard dog, swearing he won't let the young master be harmed. The mad dog opens its jaws and barks loudly. That makes Shan laugh, because both the bodyguard and the dog are loyal in their own ways. The bodyguard takes offense, but Shan says it's a compliment for his absolute loyalty. The tragedy is that he's serving a total piece of human garbage. Angry that his boss was insulted, the bodyguard orders his partner to attack right away. The dog is surprisingly fast for its size, but Shan isn't scared at all. He swings his stick and hits the dog hard on the back. The clean hit drops the dog instantly without a sound. The bodyguard stands speechless for a second, shocked to see his trained dog fall so fast. He gets even more confused when Shan runs straight at him without stopping. The man stands frozen as Shan jumps up and knocks him down with a single punch. His head hits the ground before he even realizes what happened. With them taken care of, Shan finally turns to face his last target. Shan is shocked to see the idiot acting instead of just giving orders. Yushin runs toward an oil barrel with C4 taped to it. Shan wonders if the psycho wants to blow himself up for revenge, but he won't go down easily. He grabs a grappling hook from his bag. He throws it up and locks it tightly onto a rafter above. Maizai swings over like Spider-Man and quickly reaches him. The madman thinks he'll win in the end. He tells himself dying together isn't a loss. It's the only way he can still win. He's wrong. My guy jumps on his back, slams him to the floor. He says he's waited a long time to kill him himself. Suddenly, the blonde guy yells to stop. He says killing him means nothing now, because he isn't the Chen heir anymore. Still, he warns that hurting him means Shan won't escape them. That's because his brother, Xuan Chen, will be the next family head. Hearing that name, Shan freezes. He remembers the man who gave him water during his last mission. He clearly recalls the guy spiked his drink back then. He tries to figure out how that creep caused his failure. Yukin's laugh snaps him back to reality. The blonde guy is sure his brother won't let Shan off this time. He seems thrilled just thinking about ruining his life and family. For the first time, those words really hurt him. He clenches his fist, speechless, as Yukin laughs in his face. After a long pause, he lets it go. He turns his mic back on and tells the director to move in. The target laughs wildly as Shan reports the hostages are safe. Later in the office, Director Dong praises his clean work. Then the director shares bad news and shows him a text from Yu Chen's phone. Reading the chat, he starts to sweat when he sees the name Shan Chen. It's a text from the Chen heir asking for Shan's info if the hostage plan fails. Meanwhile, at the Chen mansion, a man looks over info on our main character. He finds his life fascinating and gets hooked on every detail, so he decides to get close to him, calls his men to set up a fake accidental meeting with Linshi that looks totally real. Next, he plans to join Shan's university next term. He can't wait to see who beat his useless brother. To him, beating an enemy is simple. To take down a dog, you must know its owner. At the police station, Pong tells him to watch out for the glass door since he's staring at his phone. He looks at his partner, celebrating Yu Chen's 5-year jail sentence. His partner thinks they can relax now, but Shan doesn't care and looks back at his phone, annoying Ping. Ping doesn't get why Shan is still worried with his enemy gone. Since Lindsay texted that she needs to talk, Shan replies they can chat at school tomorrow. At home, she talks with her parents about leaving school soon. Shyly, she says she finally feels at home and made friends there. But her dad says the Lin family only has real power in the capital, where he can keep her safe. She argues that the Chen family isn't a threat now that Yu Chen is locked up. But her parents warn a new Chen could easily replace him. She gives in and leaves, but asks to say goodbye to her friends first. At the station, cops demand Yukon cartel bosses. The man just smirks, mocking them. He repeats his stance. He isn't talking to the police. The officer gets furious, not realizing he is losing control of the situation. The officer says his family won't help this time. Facing kidnapping charges, Yukon must talk to get a lighter sentence. Yukon says he needs to use the bathroom. The officer says he can go after he confesses. When he refuses, the officer tells him to go in his pants. His partner steps in, warning that his powerful family might seek revenge. The officer changes his tune and tells his partner to let him go, but keep him watched. The partner warns him to make it quick and not try anything funny. In the bathroom, the janitor secretly gives him a message from his family. Yukon waits nervously. The message says he will be helped if he admits to his crimes. He bites his lip, frustrated by the difficult choice. After thinking it over, he accepts the family's offer. His only condition is making Jiang Shan suffer so much he wishes he was never born. The messenger notes his dark wish and calmly promises to deliver the exact message. Then he hands him a small folded piece of paper and quietly wishes the young master good luck. The next day at school, Baldy jokes that the letter from Linshi is a love letter, but it's actually a birthday invitation. His friend gets excited, saying it's his big chance to impress her, and asks about the gift. His single friend advises that girls like expensive, meaningful gifts like jewelry or perfume. But he says he already has the perfect gift in mind. That makes his buddy curious, and he tries hard to find out what it is. However, Sean says it's a surprise for the party. It wouldn't be fun if he spoiled it now, would it? That upsets Jai because now he has to wait like everyone else, even though he's Sean's best friend. Anyway, Sean feels uneasy about what Leanie wants to talk about. He's had a bad feeling ever since she texted that they need to talk. He just hopes he's overthinking things. Rich guests arrive at the party with expensive gifts. Jai feels out of place in his old outfit, but our boy looks sharp and confident in his new tailored suit. At the door, he shows his invitation and tells the guard the messy guy next to him is his guest. The staff welcomes them into the main hall, where guests are being served fine wine. Because he has a special invitation, the butler personally leads him to the VIP room. Inside, Jai goes crazy seeing all the expensive food. He hasn't eaten all day just to save room for it. Sean tells him to slow down before he regrets it. Just then, a well-dressed man comes over and greets him politely. He praises his suit, saying it matches his great reputation. With his mouth full of cupcakes, Baldy looks over and asks out loud who this fancy rich guy is. The man introduces himself as Lin Jun, the birthday girl's cousin. He offers a handshake, and our boy politely says the pleasure is his. Stays humble about his achievements, but Lin Jun says beating Yu Chen on his own turf is a huge deal. He adds that he likes making capable friends, but he admits he doesn't trust rumors and prefers to see proof with his own eyes. Lin Jun suggests entertaining the guests with a fun archery game in the back garden and proposes a bet to make it interesting. Suddenly, Jai jumps in and says they shouldn't compete on a special day like Leanie's birthday. Lin Jun mocks him anyway, sarcastically asking if Sean is backing out or if he thinks the game is beneath him. The rich boy's taunt works, and Sean accepts the challenge immediately, asks Lin Jun for the rules and agrees to any conditions. They head to the back garden where Lin Jun explains the rules. Must hit a target 10 meters away while blindfolded using 3 arrows each. After the explanation, a butler brings a bow and arrows to Lin Jun. He asks Sean one last time if he understands the rules. Sean doesn't answer and quietly tests his bowstring instead. Just then, Lynchie arrives and sees what's happening. Realizing the situation, she warns her cousin about the trouble he'll face if their uncle finds out. Her cousin tells her to relax, saying it's just to make her party exciting. He announces a bet. The winner gets their gift opened first. Sean agrees instantly, making Lynchie uneasy about this pointless contest, wondering if he did it to get her attention. Then her cousin takes the first shot. He pulls back, bow, and fires perfectly. The crowd cheers as it hits near the center. He fires again and hits a perfect bullseye. Nobody doubts that Master Lin will win this. Girls cheer for him while Lynchie worries. Lin Jun smirks and asks Sean for his thoughts. Rich boy vows to give him no chance. Playing your best is how you respect a rival. He shoots his last arrow straight at the goal. A shadow creeps up behind the distracted Linshi. He suddenly shoves her, and she trips forward. Before she can even move, the birthday girl finds herself right in the path of a speeding arrow. She screams for help, and our hero hears her immediately. His military training kicks in, and he realizes her scream came from the direction of the target. He grabs 3 arrows and shoots blindly to block the attack. Luckily, his arrows strike the rich boy's arrow, breaking it in midair. The crowd watches in total shock, completely speechless. Linshi trips and falls flat on the ground just as the arrows fly right past her. She can't believe they missed from that close. Everyone rushes over in a panic, but she tells them she's perfectly fine. Her cousin takes off his blindfold and looks confused, wondering why she's lying on the ground. Annoyed by his cluelessness, our hero tells him he almost killed her. Shocked, Ling Jun asks where the arrow went. A servant points to the target, where all 3 of Shan's arrows hit the bullseye. Lin Jun is speechless at this perfect accuracy, realizing it's a legendary archery technique. Rich boy finally sees he can't bully this opponent anymore. It's confusing since he wasn't part of the plan. He doesn't know why his cousin got hit. Our hero spots the man who pushed her sneaking away into the crowd. He yells for everyone to surround the person who put her in danger. The man tries to run, but a guest grabs him. He shouts to let him go, saying they don't know who he works for. Shan smiles and says he'd love to hear who his boss is. He says he can confess now or face the police. It's smarter to talk and avoid a record. The man considers it, then grins and bites his lip. Shan knows he's hiding poison to kill himself. The man starts choking and falls to the ground. People panic and call for help. Shan leans in, but the man gasps one last thing. Regards from his boss, Yu Chen. Then he dies right there. Now he's wondering how his enemy managed to order a hit from inside jail. Back in his cell, the third Chen brother laughs quietly, looking at a razor blade. He laughs dryly, mocking how cheap his brother is. He didn't even bother to send good poison to make it clean. While the guard sleeps outside, Yukin prepares to kill himself in his cell. Right then, he remembers his childhood, when he crushed butterflies in the garden for fun. He felt really disappointed whenever he failed to crush the helpless bugs. It made him wonder if he had what it takes to lead the Chen family. Back then, his bodyguard told him to stop being so negative, but young Yukin just repeated what everyone always said, that trash like him didn't belong in the family. His bodyguard told him he could do anything if he risked his life for it. That stuck with him. He realized he never got results because he never truly put his life on the line. He yells at Sean in his head, demanding to know where he failed. He gets angrier as the image of Silent just stares back. Then he thinks of his family, who threw him away like trash. They gave him one last chance to avoid a prison cell. Part of him wants it, but he chooses the razor instead. As he bleeds, his body grows cold and weak. Dying, he smiles, thinking he will see Sean in hell and win. Hours later, Director wakes up the guard outside the cell. The guard makes excuses, joking that the kid is just cleaning up. That sounds off, and the guard notices liquid under his boots. He goes pale, realizing the dark red stain looks just like blood. He panics, confused about how it got there without him noticing. When he turns around, he realizes too late where it came from. He yells at the guard for assuming everything was fine. The director panics, knowing the Chen family's lawyers are already on their way. The two rush to open the door and quickly step inside. They stare in horror at the boy's cold body, lying on the ground in a pool of blood. They shout at him, trying to get a response, hoping he might wake up. The guard spots the tiny blade, rushes over to carefully check his pulse. After a moment, he lowers his head and tells the director that he is already gone. Hearing that, the director realizes the lawyers aren't coming to save him. They are coming to clean up his mess. Director Dong immediately orders the guard to start an internal investigation. He tells him to check everyone who went near Yu Chen. After the guard leaves, the man feels uneasy, thinking about how the Chen family could throw away their own son so easily. Back at the party, Lin Jun brings drinks and asks to talk. He admits he might have done something bad earlier, but that doesn't explain the angry stares he's been getting for the past hour. Looking really mad, Sean says this is just how his face is. If he has something to say, he should just say it. The link to the next episode should be appearing on your screen. Just click on it and you can watch it.